Yeah, that's a good topic today, man. Going back, what advice would you give your younger self? A lot of advice
Yeah,
I
this is a
would
good
give
one.
my younger self.
It's a good one, man. And I kind of want to
And also,
everybody who's in here tapped in the comments too. I kind of want to hear from y'all too, because I kind of want to hear what type of advice y'all would give y'all younger self, because it might be something I need now. You know
right,
what I'm saying?
absolutely,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
And
fact.
that's what we chopping on today.
yeah, and also request to join the live, guys. If you want to come on live, just request on a request to Z. He's gonna let you in. Come on live, bro. It's not just limited to us. Everyone, all welcome to join. So yeah,
That's a fact.
for sure.
So let's dive into it, fellas. We
Yeah,
here, man. You know what I mean? What is it? January, what's it, 30th,
29.
29th?
29th.
29th? Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
You almost done with the month, man. But let's dive straight into the topic for the week, man. What
All
advice
right.
would you give your younger self?
What advice would
You
you
want-
give yourself, man?
I
That's a
would,
loaded.
yeah.
That's a heavy one.
Z,
I mean, it's probably a bunch of shit, right? Like, you
it
know what I
seemed like
mean?
it seemed like you're ready for it. Z, what advice would you give your younger self right
Man.
now?
Kick us off. Kick us off, G. Hello.
You got that. Let's get going.
um, the biggest advice I would probably give myself right out the gate is quit horsing around.
Mm,
Because
Quit horsing around is nuts.
quit around, man. My younger self. I mean, anybody who knows me back when I was in my heyday. Well, I mean, I'm still in my heydays, but in my days, your boy was wild. So I mean, I think that's a big part of life too. Is right. Like you got to go through the phases. You got to go through all phases in life. But I think the advice would be to just like focus up a little bit more, than I did, in the early going. Just because I think getting a head start on certain things like investing and um, getting discipline, getting into the gym and all that stuff, like all these things that are going to set you up for success in the long term are important. It's important to establish those routines and those systems early on, as opposed to having to do it later. It's always easier for things to really settle in and become routine and become second nature the earlier on in your life. Like
Right.
that's struggle later on to like learn a new language. I think that's another thing I would teach myself too, is just being focused and learning different languages and stuff like that early on. So I think right out the gate that would be something that I would give advice to my younger 18-year-old self.
Yeah.
What language would you have learned? You would have took that Spanish 2 class a little more serious, huh?
I mean, personally, I honestly took 4 years of Spanish, and honestly
Did you?
still struggle, bro. Like I took a semester of Spanish in college, so like like
Damn, did you?
yeah, yeah,
Oh,
and
Damn,
I still don't know the language, but
damn.
that's because I was horsing around. I told you I was horsing around.
oh, oh, all you
That
know
boy
is
was
"Hola,
your
mamacita."
soy Zenas, huh? That's all I need to know. You know what I mean?
All you
That's
know is like "Call me Poppy" in Spanish. Call me Poppy.
that's crazy.
I would get started, man. There are a lot of things for sure for me. Number one, like kind of like going off what Zena said earlier, I would definitely say just being more self-disciplined, right? Because I believe that when you're young, I mean, we're still young technically, right? But when you're at that age, bro, you just think like you have a lot of time, right?
Mhm.
But the crazy thing is time just goes by so fast before you realize you're like late 20s and then 30s and mid 30s. So for me, number one is for sure being more disciplined, for sure being more disciplined. That's something I think would have paid off tremendously if I would have been more disciplined.
Absolutely.
And number two for me was like, man, not being some of those relationships that I were in. that,
Hey
That, but
man, I
that worked
feel you.
out opposite of me. I wanted to quit horsing around. He wanted to horse around. That's what.
Yeah, you should have been horsing around, huh?
I should have been horsing around, but I should have been. No, but just more in the sense that looking back, I think some of them didn't really serve me,
Yeah.
right? And it's like I invested a lot of time and effort emotionally and all that into it, and it didn't materialize. However, it's a life learning experience as
Yep.
well. And number three is like taking financial literacy serious for sure. That's something I could have spent more time and attention on, just learning about financial literacy. That I think would have set me up
Yeah,
right now, a whole different way than what I'm at right now.
Yeah.
So those are the top three things I would
Yeah.
definitely change.
Absolutely. And shout out to B-Roll, young Barry. He said, advice: stop stressing about where you're at in life. It's a marathon, not a race. Absolutely. And he said you don't need to have all the answers. You absolutely do not. You don't need to have all the answers, especially when we were younger, man, at 18 years old, between 18 and 21, however young, honestly, even 10 years ago.
Right.
I think that's great advice. Is you don't always have to have all the answers, and I
Right.
think a lot of often we get that pressure upon ourselves where we have to have it all figured out. And I don't mean to, like, bring in gender roles and stuff like that, but I feel like as men, like, we're expected to, like, have everything, fit
Mm-hmm.
providers, and stuff like that. And so I feel like there's a lot of pressure that falls on our shoulders and stuff like that, and wanting to be the man of the household and all that stuff. And so, we feel like it's our job to have everything
Right.
figured out, and
Absolutely.
you're not always going to, and that's okay, but I think also the willingness to be able to ask for help too, and being able to voice that too, I think is a big thing. But anyways, Pete, what you got for us?
Man, y'all set the tone, man. I'm gonna just tap in with JP said it's okay to not have it all figured
Yeah.
out. That's always a big one, man. It's, you know what I'm saying, it just is. But kind of bouncing off what y'all said, for me, I would think it would kind of just been like, I guess two main things. It would be like just kind of trusting your abilities, right? Because I think sometimes, like, when you're like trying stuff, especially like when you're like, I always been into music, right? But then there's sometimes you're just thinking like you're like waiting to get good enough to try stuff.
Right.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? But sometimes you just got to get in there and just do the shit and then figure it out on the way. You know what I mean? Like, your first time, you kind of it's supposed to not look pretty your first time. You know what I
Right.
mean? So kind of
Yep.
just trusting where you at that time and just try stuff. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Try more things.
Facts.
My other thing would be like treat your craft, because I always been kind of a dreamer, man. But my other thing would be like treat that craft like a business, though.
Right.
Like, you
Absolutely.
know what I'm saying? Take it serious. Don't just do it whenever it feels cool. And, you know what I'm saying? You done with everything for the day. Maybe you spend an hour messing around with you. Just treat it like a job, bro. Just lock in and be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It don't even got to be a lot, maybe an hour or two every day. You know what I'm saying? Just some kind of like lock in and learn the business and then treat it like a business, as far as like how often you do it and just how it's implemented into your process. You know what I mean? I think all the things you want to do, like working out and all those things, can be embedded, but I really think like taking your dream and, like, you know what I mean, like what you really want to go for serious like a business is what too
Right.
many creative people don't do.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know what I mean? We just want to create, and I get it, because that's kind of all I wanted to do at a certain point. But I think for me, it just really was at a point like, take this part serious.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, whether it's learning the business or actually doing the craft, just work it like a business. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Right.
Absolutely.
Nah.
That would be like a big piece of advice from my younger self for sure. It's just like, take that shit serious, bro. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Right.
And other
Absolutely.
people will take you serious when you start doing that.
Exactly.
Fact.
You
And
know what I mean?
piggybacking off of that, I think that's excellent advice, honestly, and advice I wish I would have given myself when I was younger. Just leaning more into your purpose, right? Like,
Right.
just like whatever it is that you feel like makes you happy, that like you can't stop thinking about on the daily, that you dream about every night, that you wake up thinking about in the morning. Just lean into that and just like truly trust yourself. Like you said, Pete, trust your abilities. That you are special, and your talents, can take you as far as you want to go. But I think, to your point, is implementing those, really setting up the business aspect of things is what's critical to get you to that next level in the long term, like to where you can be financially free and can set up, yourself to where you don't have to depend on a 9 to 5 and be in this hamster wheel, this rat race
Right.
that you get caught up in, and that I caught up in, for years,
Right.
like over more my life. And I think it was still important for me to go through that phase of my life. Like I think I'm not regretful of anything. Like, I'm grateful for where I am today. But if I had the opportunity to talk to 10 years ago, my 24-year-old self would be like, man, just lean into that, man. Like, just
Right.
trust yourself, trust who you are, trust what you're capable of, and just take it as far as you can, man. But make sure you get that them pennies, them pennies. Baby. We need all them pennies.
For
Right.
sure, man.
Right. Sure. I mean, also I would
Every
tell my younger self is
penny matters.
Every penny.
Be be penny wise out here, man. That's how you really become it. You feel me? You feel me?
I was telling my youngest, we mob.
Let's wrestle.
No, but I also want to also wanted to pivot though, right? So, what advice, what compliment now, right? Will you give your younger self, right? What is something you'd be proud of right now? You're telling your younger self, "I'm proud of you." What's that one thing,
Mhm.
a few things that you'd be like, "Man, I'm proud of you." What would that be?
P, I'm gonna let you go first on this one.
Uh, Jeez. All right, so we talking about like about 10 years ago, like 10 years ago from
Right,
now. So that's okay. That would make me like 22.
right.
Okay, okay, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
right,
Um, now I like that's a good question too. I like that's a good follow-up question because sometimes we get so caught into where we're trying to go, we don't even look at like what we was doing right
right,
in certain points, right? Like being like really young, even younger than that. Like as a kid, I was kind of like a
right,
shy, kind of quiet kid. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That wouldn't really get out of his comfort zone in a lot of things and was kind of to himself. So if I could shout out my 22-year-old self, I'd be like, man, shout out to you for just starting to move around
Yeah.
and just like, you know what I mean? And just kind of, you know what I mean? Put yourself out there a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like I found out young that I like doing music, but I was real just quiet at first. So I just be doing it like on the low, you
right,
know what I'm saying? Until it got good enough, like around the high school and people was just knowing me and stuff like that. But in college, I was kind of like starting to move around and like kind of, people was knowing me for taking music
Yeah.
serious. So like even at that age, it was kind of like, shout out to you, bro, for just like it's when there is no structure around being creative, you got to do it by yourself. Like
right,
you kind of got to just
Yep.
take it upon yourself to just be creative and then put together projects and you know what I mean and really like work on stuff. So I would shout out the younger me for just being like, bro, right on for just sticking with that shit and just keep jumping off the porch, man, and just keep
Yeah.
trying.
right,
You know what I
right,
mean? And then and it's always dope because I feel like music and like my personality kind of like shaped each other, right? Like, you know what I mean? So I was like making music and then I had to get it out around people. So I had to be around and talk to people a little bit more. And it like those was back and forth on shaping how my personality is. You know what I'm saying? People say I like talk a little rhythmic now.
right.
You know what I mean? I heard that a couple times in my life. Like I talk rhythmic, but like they bounce off each other in the sense of like how my personality is and and just like what my music was at the time. So I would just shout out myself for sticking with it, bro. A lot of people, you know what I mean, like never y'all probably seen the memes is like most people stop here, everybody starts here, most people start here, and then this is where the goal
Right,
is. And then a
right,
lot of people that I, was around or just like or wasn't around, just seen doing similar things, all stopped doing
Hmm.
it. You know what I
right,
mean? So I would just shout out my younger self, like, bro, just right on for keeping the foot on the gas, bro. Even
right.
when
Absolutely.
you don't even see the end of the path. I don't know if there is
Yeah.
one. Just keep the foot on the gas, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
I love it.
yeah, that'll be my one for sure.
What
Yeah.
about you, Z?
Uh, uh, I think there would be two things that I would salute myself for at that particular age that would put me at what 24 years old. So the first thing is just something that I think I've always been really fond of, and that's been a strength of mine is being able to build relationships and establish relationships. Obviously, a lot of those relationships are still ongoing to this day, and so like just the ability to just really connect with people, I think is something that has truly gotten me far, like, and something that I've always kind of like relied on. Just being a solid person, me and Pete, we talk about it all the time, just being solid through and through. And I think I'd salute myself for that. It's just like, regardless of where you meet me at in life, or, like, whatever the situation was, whether it was like personal, whether it was romantic, whether it was a business relationship, whatever it was, just having always been solid, like, and always making sure that I do right by people. I think that's a big thing that I've always stood on. That's been a pillar of my life. So I would salute myself for that, because I think it's gotten me to where I am now, and
Right.
going further, on in life. And so that's something that I would really salute myself for. But also, I think more than anything, I salute
Baddies.
myself.
You said what?
I was like having baddies.
Nah,
I'm like, oh shit, I'm baddie. There was Brenda, Letitia, Linda.
Felicia.
No,
About 3 kills.
no. My bad, Z. Go
No,
ahead.
no, man, you good. I think the biggest thing I would salute myself for is not the quiches, but like the being a risk taker, man. I think
Right.
I've always been somebody who's trusted in themselves enough to like take those leaps of faith when they're required. Um, I think most people who truly know me know that I am a bold person, and I'm not willing, or excuse me, I'm not unwilling to like just do certain things that require a lot of courage, and I think I can actually attribute that to what's funny is I'm thinking back to like when I first graduated from college, like when we all did. One of the first things I did was I went to a summer camp out here in New York.
Mm.
I think I told you I mentored at a summer camp out here in New York. And I met a lot of people from all over the world. I met people from Israel, from Palestine, like from um, just all over the world and all over the country, and what that opportunity set me up for, just in like my ability to just get out of my comfort zone and like being in a whole new state and a new environment. And I think that only led to my curiosity like further down the road, like like with me having traveled all over the world nowadays, and like even wanting to continue those travels and stuff like that. And I think that's just something that's always I've always been a curious person. I've
Right.
always been willing to take risks and take those leaps of faith. Um, and I think it's funny, like, like just reflecting on it now, that I took that leap right after college and moved out, or well, not moved out, but like lived out in New York for the summer. And now fast
Mhm.
forward like however many years later, and I'm back in New York, like living
Wow.
Back
here.
out there.
That's just,
Damn,
you know,
damn near 10 years later, huh?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Years later, like
That's
out here,
crazy.
like I lived out here in New York for like 2, 3 months. Yeah. And during that summer, and now I'm back here again. I've been out here for 2 months now, and it's just like,
That's crazy.
Uh, it's wild, it's wild to even think about. I didn't even really reflect on that until now, until we just had this
Right.
conversation. Like that's crazy. But honestly, I think courage, purpose, and curiosity will take you as far as you want to go. But I think the biggest thing with having all of those things is to be disciplined. Like
Right.
which is
Right.
so I think that's something that like I would obviously lean more into as my younger self. But saluting myself, man, I've always been a risk taker. Always been a bold motherfucker, man. So I'm like, I'm like, I appreciate that about myself.
That's what's
No,
up, man.
I love it.
What about you,
Yeah.
DG?
For me, bro, I would say just I'll be proud of just the people that I had around me, right? Because I had really good friends around me, and by having good friends around me, I didn't really experiment when it comes to like drugs or anything like
Mm,
that. It just helped me a little bit more. And one thing for sure, I would say like just being in great shape, being with fitness,
yeah,
right? Because I feel like that really
Hmm.
helped me. Now at this level I'm at now, it's easier for me to like go to the gym, stay disciplined when it comes to fitness, and I believe that by being disciplined with fitness kind of helps me in other aspect of my life that I wasn't aware of.
Yeah,
So those are the two
yeah.
things I'll go about, man. I'm proud of you, bro. Like you out
yeah.
here, you going to the gym, you have a good circle around you. You keeping your head straight. So for sure, that's something.
DG,
Yeah.
do you feel like on the discipline side of things, do you feel like that was one of the first thing you would like fitness was one of the first things you was like this super disciplined about? You
Yes,
feel like that was one of the first things?
that was the only thing I've been really disciplined about in my whole life, bro. Everything
Yeah,
else is like,
yeah, here
here
and
and
there.
there. But fitness, yeah, fitness was the only thing I commit to. I'm like, you know what? I'm done with the streets. I'm gonna commit to fitness.
Yeah. I'm about to-
Everything else was like, not really, bro. Fitness was the only thing that I really like give 100% to. I would say not like 80, 90%.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
lot though.
yeah.
A
That's the only
lot
thing
of people
ever.
don't give, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? A lot of people
right,
don't give
Yeah.
that type of
right.
energy to anything. You know what I'm saying? 80% to 90% to anything. So
Yeah,
that's yeah. Shout out to
yeah.
that, man. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it, but it was hard, man. I used to wake up. I remember freshman year, bro, because I just moved from Philly, right, here to Colorado. So I didn't have no friends. So I'll go to the gym in the morning, and then right after class, I'll go to the gym. Go upstairs. I was like, I don't know nobody out
You
here.
running two a
Yeah.
days on their ass,
I
huh?
don't, I don't know nobody out here instead of playing video games. Let me just might as well just go in there. And that's how I get to know people, right? Because
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah.
moshing them and the other people, and then I was able to like connect with other people.
Nah, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you had the other good question the other day though, Ramon. It was like so now it's like projecting forward, right? So what are some things now you're gonna tell yourself in the next 10 years? Or what was the question? Is that what you said the last time we?
Oh yeah. Now what I was saying was, and if everybody in the chat too, I want you to answer this too, man, because my pops he always like probably when I was maybe like 5 years ago, he started asking me this. You know what I mean? And he always asked me, "What would you in 10 years wish you was doing right now?" You know what I
Mm,
mean? So that's kind of like, that's kind of like, it's kind of how I like structure my life now.
right.
It's like there's certain things that I want to be doing now that like my tenure, in 10 years, he's gonna be like, bro, I'm for sure glad you was looking out for me, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like for real. So
Damn.
yeah, so
10 years.
that's kind of that's kind of the question. Like, what would you in 10 years wish you was doing right now?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
10,
You want to
I'll
pick that up?
start. Yeah, I'll start 10 years from now, man. Being a mansion.
So nah, but
I prefer
what would you be doing right now though? Like
right now.
being in a mansion?
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Before that, I can actually attest to this for Diamond. I think he's really good at manifestation because I know he wants to, but he goes about it by
You're
looking at.
breaking up,
You
Z.
breaking
Cut up a little bit.
it up a little bit, Z.
I'm bringing up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Yeah, I
can
can
hear
hear
you
you
now. You
now.
go ahead.
Okay. Uh, Before he answers that question, I can actually answer part of this question for him. I think Diamond's really good at manifestation. You know, like he says that he wants this dream crib, this man, but I actually can attribute to that. Like when I was out there visiting in Denver, he was like, "You want to go drive around some neighborhoods?" And like we just drove around neighborhoods looking at homes that like we would envision ourselves in. And
Oh, that's fire.
I like I think that's something that I've taken on myself. I even watched like TV shows like like HGTV Dream Home and like like certain things that I would want in my home and that I wouldn't want in my home and like, oh yeah, that looks nice and stuff like that. But I actually got that from Diamond, so I can actually
Oh, that's fire.
he's good at manifestation, especially in that regard. That boy wants that $7 million crib. He's forcing the in that regard. I'll tell you that.
That's
No,
fire though. That's
no.
fire, man. That's a cool little concept.
Yeah, I appreciate it, bro. And I would say, bro, like just what I would be doing, man. I would say, like, just like, cause I'll be retired. I wouldn't be for sure. I know I'm not gonna be working corporate no more. I'll be doing corporate, right? Hopefully,
Yeah.
have a family, running a business, man, and just being able to give back to the community, bro. Cause I have other things I want to do, right? Especially from like in Liberia, like I want to be able to go back and build schools and like provide educations. So hopefully, man, I pray to God with long life and good health. I want to be in that position to be able to do those things that I'm just mentioning.
So
Have a
what do
solid
what
family.
do you got to be doing right now? Yeah.
Right.
What do you got to be doing right now to be that person in 10 years? That's the
Um,
question. That's what I'm.
right.
You
Well,
know what I'm
pretty much what we're doing right now, bro, on the grind, right?
saying? You said I'm already on the path, but
being more disciplined of what we're talking about, having those focus group, like like Z mentioned earlier,
yeah.
manifestation, and also, bro, just do the work, right? Because we manifest these things that we want to accomplish, but we're actually putting in our work every day to get there. So just
Yeah.
staying disciplined, grinding, like taking some like calculated risk as well. And 9 to 5 is not gonna get me there for sure. So that's why I decided I'm not taking a 9 to 5 route,
Yeah.
right? I'm more like an entrepreneurship route. So that's pretty much what I'm doing right now to get there, bro. Just having people around you, man, that want the same thing, or something similar, so we can like inspire one another, to be better. Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Bro, not to twist the subject too much, but something you hit on just was dope. You said just do the work. It made me
Right.
think about like a lot of people like I think even if somebody was like, this is exactly what you have to do to get where you need to go, they still might not do it.
Yeah.
Like if they was like,
Right.
yo, this is how you become a millionaire and this is how you become in shape while you do it. This is exactly what you gotta do. A lot of people just still wouldn't do the work. That's
It's
important.
hard. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
hard, bro.
hard.
It's
It's hard.
hard.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
crazy though, but that it can be as simple as just do the work. Figure out
yeah.
what you want that work
Right.
to be,
Yeah.
and then do the
Yeah,
work.
Yeah.
just
That's crazy.
do
Yeah.
the work, bro. And the one thing I've learned, bro, sometimes you do the work, man, you're gonna get lucky, right? You're gonna get lucky, and sometimes you're gonna fail. But just keep doing the work. Just keep trying
Yeah.
about, maybe improve art. Whatever you did before it wasn't working, maybe create like you always mentioned it, Ramon, create a system, right? If that system didn't work out, try a new system. But just
Yeah.
don't give up. Just keep being
Yeah.
persistent. And I think most of the time we don't get to where we want to be because we're not persistent and we don't try to be innovative, right? When one method failed, we just gave up. So all comes to doing the work. Yeah,
Go back to doing the work. See what JP said here. JP said, I think for me, setting boundaries for myself and saying no.
Mm-hmm.
If someone is trying to kick it, or making sure that that have
That
my
might be.
general responsibility taken care of,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but more on having one extra. Yeah. Definitely feel that, man. Come on, man. Setting the boundaries is big, bro. The older that you get, you realize, like, to be disciplined to something, you have to cut something off.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be disciplined, you gotta set up them boundaries to be like, I'm doing this during this time, so I don't really care what people's like asking me to do during this time. I'm blocked off.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you don't have that, then you could just be kind of what they say, uh, schedule your day and let your day schedule you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm
And,
saying? So if you don't
and
have those things in pieces in motion, then I
and
definitely feel that.
also to add on to that, Ramon, too, I feel like your goals, the goals that you're trying to accomplish, right? The work ethic has to match that goal.
Yeah,
You know, you
yeah,
can say
yeah,
I want to make 3 mil a year, and then you put it in like $20 an hour work.
that's a
You're not gonna get
fact.
there. You know, the work, whatever you're trying to accomplish, the work ethic has to match that. If you want to like run a marathon in 2 months, you can just go to the gym and do cardio for like 5 minutes and call it quit. You gotta be doing
Yeah,
cardio for at least an hour or two. And most of the time, I think we want these big goals and things that we want to accomplish, but the work and the sacrifice that we're willing to put in doesn't match what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
yeah,
Agree.
So the bigger
that's
the
a fact.
goal, the bigger the work ethic, the bigger the you being creative. You have to like
Yeah,
network, connect with people. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get out that comfort
right,
zone too, brother.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable doing stuff like that.
And and circling back on what JP said, just about like setting boundaries and knowing when to say no, I think something that I've come to realize as I've gotten older too is like surrounding yourself with people who are like aligned in a lot of those regards, because those people get it.
right,
You know, like the people that like when you say no, like I don't want to go out or I don't want to drink tonight, you know, because like I gotta wake up tomorrow and do certain
right.
things. And people who aren't going to sit there and give you a hard time and stuff like that. I mean, of course, we all want to have a good time
Oh yeah,
and as we should, right? You should always celebrate yourself sometimes and give yourself that grace and that wiggle room in order to do that. But for the people who are on the grind and understand, are aligned with you and like what you want, and we may not be headed to the exact same place, but we're all elevating together. You know, I think that's important to be surrounded by those people, have that community and that sense of support, because like that's not always easy to come by, you know, like. And so I think like really setting those boundaries and just like having those people who understand you, you know, like it's just even if that's only a handful of people, you know, that's all you need. You
yeah,
don't need a lot. Just the people who do get it. Not everyone's, you know, like I think it's important to have those people in your corner, you know. So I'm glad that JP touched on that,
for sure.
because I think P and I, we've talked about this before. Like as we've gotten older, like I think our very close like inner circle has dwindled. You know, but like we're still connected to a lot of people, right? But like I'm talking about people like who get it and who that I'm actually gonna like rock with. Like, you know, probably call up, you know, at any given moment, you know, or in these particular situations when it comes to like a business negotiation or anything like that. That's a very small circle of people, you know, kind of thing. That's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be a large group of people. You know, just find the people that you rock with and just, you know, elevate together, you know, level up.
Back, back. Yeah,
But I'll go as far as like my 10-year from now self. What do I think I wish I was doing now? I mean, honestly, I think a lot of the things that we are doing, like, you know, that I am doing, you know, like I think we're establishing, I think we're building a particular network that we're working on, the Spot Network. It already has a certain ring to it. I can see the Spot Network being major.
Come on, man.
for sure, bro. For
Um,
sure.
tell
so
tell the people what it is, man. We on the subject a little bit. Tell them what it is,
So the
G.
Spot Network, man. Hold on, let me break. We gonna we gonna read this file is so fire that like I need everybody. I need
Come
everybody on
on,
now to know what the Spot
And
Network
come
is.
on, because
So
please
we gonna
follow the page.
follow
Follow
the
the page too,
page,
guys.
man.
Yeah,
We gonna chop up what you about to say right now as a video later, man, to let them
yeah,
know exactly what the Spot Network is becoming in real time. So
give y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the real thorough version of what the Spot Network is. So y'all ready for
let's
this?
get
All
it.
right. So the Spot Network is a network where timeless tunes meet entrepreneurial spirit, growth mindset, and personal development. Join us as we embark upon this journey for inspiring stories, insightful conversations, and music that stands the test of time.
Come on.
From legendary artists to rising stars, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders, we're where passion and purpose come together. So tap in with us as we get into the rhythm of growth.
Come on, man.
That's why.
Hey.
Absolutely
Come on,
beautiful.
Rhythm.
man.
Do y'all hear that? The rhythm of growth.
The
That's
rhythm of growth,
what
man.
network is. If you want to really break it down, it is those three words: the rhythm of growth. That's what it is. Like
That's fire.
Rhythm
that's
of growth.
that's what.
Rhythm of growth.
Tell me that tell me that don't sound fire. That's fire.
Come on, man. That's money.
Make sure you follow the page,
Make
guys.
sure
If
y'all
you on
follow,
here,
That's
please
money,
follow the
man.
page.
make sure y'all follow the page
The
at the
Spot
spot.
Network Official. It's in the comments,
Like
please.
subtle,
Appreciate
the subtle but not subtle plug. Like follow the Spot Network, baby,
it.
because
Yeah, we're gonna have some really, really dope stuff over there.
you'll be glad that you did.
We're gonna have some really dope content over there, man. From all the lives that we've had in real time to DJ mixes. We're gonna really we're building that out into like a real network that's gonna have different type of content. So, man, make sure y'all follow that page and stay tuned, man. So I didn't mean to cut into the story, but it was a perfect little segment to tap
Right.
in right there. You know what I mean?
I'm glad. I'm glad you cut in because that needed to be. We in the rhythm
Cut.
of growth,
Come
baby.
on,
We in the rhythm of growth.
man.
Feeling inspired. Love it.
Yeah, so the Spot Network, man, I think honestly, a lot of the things that we are doing is what my future self 10 years from now wish I would be doing. Like, and for instance, like, like moving out here to New York and just taking a leap of faith. I left my job, I severed that tie, like, and I've left corporate and I'm fully an entrepreneur now, and all the pressure that comes along with it, the good and the bad, like, but to JP's point earlier, you don't have to have it all figured out, and I don't have it all figured out,
Mhm.
but
Right.
I'm trying. I took that leap of faith, and I'm just taking it one day at a time, and I'm figuring it out as I go. And I think sometimes I think planning is necessary. I think you do need to be calculated with how you go about things, but sometimes, in order to achieve greatness, like it just takes walking on blind faith and just trusting that whatever you want in the world will come into fruition, and will have the universe will provide it for you. But you have to be willing to go to those extents, right? And
Facts.
so I think, having set myself up in this particular position where I have severed that tie and where I am fully an entrepreneur and where I am meeting people and putting myself in the certain in the certain rooms, certain spaces, and shaking hands and doing all those things, reading books, all the things that I'm doing right now, um, setting up those systems. I think that's exactly what I need to be doing and what I am doing and what my future self will thank me for doing. And honestly, I think another thing is just like continuing to rock with my dogs,
Right.
man. Like, like the people
Mhm.
continuing to invest in my people, like the people who invest in me. It's a reciprocal relationship, continuing to rock with my people and just like to nourish one another, like at the end of the day, I know that I'm bringing something to the table. I know y'all are bringing something to the table, and it's dope to just have that reciprocal relationship where it's just like we can feed off of each other, we
Facts.
inspire one another, we challenge one another, and I think that's something that is very critical to growth and to bringing out the best in each other. And I think that's just something that I'm just continuing to lean into my people, man. I think that's a big thing too.
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fire, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
JP,
Shout out to B-Roll.
okay, JP, hopping up in here. Y'all got a song called "The Spot" right now. Is that the theme song or what?
Yo,
Hey, there you go. Come on,
hey,
man.
There we go.
hey, I didn't mean to, stop the whole,
Nah, you ain't
live
something.
and everything. I just wanted to say one thing. You I kind of contest to that what you were just talking about because, like, for me, right after Layla was born and everything like that, and I was stressing so bad. I'm like, oh, I gotta get this job. I gotta get this crib. Da da da. And then I finally got to the place to where I wanted to be and to finally like be cool and chill. And I was still stressing about what I didn't have, what I still need to get, where I want to be. But then like it hit me one day because my mom was talking to me and she's like, yo, like you're 23. Like You don't need to have it all figured out. You know what I mean? And then like it sat, like I'm like, damn, I'm literally what 5 years away from 18. Like, you know what I mean? And so for me to
That's a fact.
like be so stressed out, like, oh, I gotta have this, I gotta have that. And I think that for me as a father, I've always wanted to be like my dad, as far as like that father figure that he portrayed to me. So I'm seeing him doing all these, cooking, cleaning, having everything together, career, whatever. And I'm like, oh, like he has it together. But, me and him, we sat down and he was like, yo, I didn't have nothing figured out. Like I moved to a whole like city and, trying to figure stuff out. Like I didn't have it together until you came along. And then even then I still didn't have it together because, there was roadblocks in the way. So, I just wanted to say that to say is like, give yourself some
Right.
grace. You know what I mean? You don't need to have everything figured out.
Right.
But also on the other end of it, right, is as long as you just staying consistent into the things that you want to achieve, and not saying that it, with the Atomic Habits, I'm starting to really learn this, is like all you just got to do is just do a little bit each day. That's it. You
Right.
don't need
Goes
to
a long way,
have a
brother.
huge jump. Yeah, like, and so for me, I always like not to essentially compare myself to you guys, but having such a high quality circle, I was looking at that as like a comparison. Y'all are almost 10 years older than me, and so me feeling like I have to be or take the path that y'all took or whatever,
Right.
like, nah, this is me. You know what I mean? This is my story, my chapter. This ain't y'all's chapter, y'all's story. But also too on the aspect of like, yo, if we gonna do this, we got to do this the right way, which is just taking that one step forward. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier, is like 10 years from now, I'm taking those steps, and now I took those 10 steps, and now I'm not only here, but and some.
Right.
And so, just having grace and taking that step, that's all that we need. You know what I mean? Um, and it doesn't have to be a huge jump every single
Right.
time. So, but yeah, I just had to say that. You know what I mean?
Well,
Add
just
to
to
the
put it in
conversation.
perspective for you, man, your 10 years ago was 13.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
That,
Just put that
yeah,
in perspective. Put that
for
in
real,
perspective one time, brother.
for real,
You for sure didn't have that
real,
beard, I tell you that.
certainly didn't have that
I
beard.
tell you that for sure,
yeah,
bro, man. So if you think about just the progress, sometimes you forget to look at the
Yeah.
progress you already took, bro. From 13 to now, that's a, you
for
know what I'm
real,
saying? There's a man where a boy once stood. You feel me?
for real, for
You
real.
feel me?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy. 13.
Yeah.
Wow.
And shout out, yeah. Barry said that boy growing up, love to see it, man.
Let's
Yeah,
see it.
absolutely. That
Come on, man.
right before our eyes, man.
Come on, man.
No, you had
yeah,
a you had a great point, bro. I believe that in life you're never gonna have everything figured out. It's always gonna be that you're always gonna be trying to figure it out, no matter how old you are, right? There are certain aspects you're gonna have to figure out, but there are certain things that you have to learn and improve. I just believe it's just like a continuous journey. Like my favorite saying, we're like plants, man. The day we die, we have to keep growing until we die.
Yeah,
It's not a big you like, oh, I know it all. You're not gonna know it all. Because
yeah.
every day is something you can improve on, be better
A,
every day. It's not gonna
a
be a
prime,
day you're like, dang, I reached the pinnacle now. We always gonna be growth every single day.
yep.
That's a
So yeah.
fact.
Like a prime example that like I brought it up in a previous conversation of ours is Will and Jada. Like, we thought they had it figured out like like years ago. They've been in shambles for over.
Exactly.
It's
bro.
all perception, right? Like like people who we think have everything still don't have it figured out.
Right.
And they look like they had everything. Like some
Yeah,
people think have nothing, have it all. Like kind of
Right.
thing. I think a big piece of it, we touch on it all the time. I think the reason why I know we're gonna all be successful is because we're all mentally wealthy. We're all
Right.
mentally already. Like we're all already like in certain places of our lives, and we're only gonna continue to elevate and grow from here. But like already mentally there. Like that's why I know that the monetary side is gonna come eventually. Like the pockets are gonna reflect
Oh
what we
yeah.
have Like we're already mentally very wealthy, very rich, you know.
and
So I look forward
and
and
physically too, not just physically and Bob.
maybe with Bomb in all regards, mentally
I got
Bomb.
three. I got 3 words for that. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So, but yeah,
No, that's
I'm gonna head off. You know what I mean? Y'all continue the conversation and stuff like that. I just had to say that one thing. You know what I mean? And I'm waiting for that podcast to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
come on,
So,
man.
yeah,
It's
we
on
you
the
know what I
ready.
way.
mean?
it's on the
Just
way.
as soon as y'all say it's on streaming platforms, let me know.
Yes, sir.
I'm a
Right
support. So, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
I'll
now
see
for
y'all
tapping in, baby. Right in for tapping in, family.
All right,
for sure.
all right, boss. But
Yeah,
no,
man.
that's a really.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead,
Go ahead.
Ramon. No,
No, well, I was gonna say just to add to the thing that we was just talking about. When we talked about like nobody kind of fully has it figured out, right? And when
right,
I was thinking about that, it almost is a better idea. I think about to figure you out instead of figure it out. You
right,
know what I'm saying? Figure out
exactly,
because even if you go to somebody that you think hasn't figured it out, they might have figured it out for them,
right.
Yeah,
but that might not be the what you really want to be like for real. You know what I mean? So I think it's almost more important to figure
yeah,
you out. You know what I'm saying? And figure out what path that looks like. You
yeah.
feel me? So just wanted to add that into
It's
there.
No,
facts,
Nobody got to
man.
figure it out.
Like I think creating your own identity is so important,
Mhm.
man. Like it's really just like leaning into that as much as you possibly can. Because I was even thinking about that yesterday. You know, P, I was talking to you earlier. I went to this event. Shout out to Win in the building. But shout out to Win and Jarv. They put on this DJ like this open turntable, and um, it was a total of 14 DJs. You know, like it was dope. Like like and everybody said dope. But like I realized in that moment, like as everybody was spinning, like I realized like what I bring to the table, and I was like, I don't want to be like every other DJ.
right,
Like like I respect and I love what everybody does, but like I also want to be my own person. Like I
right,
want to be myself. I don't want to be
Mhm.
I don't want to be DJ
right,
Khaled. I don't want to be Harris. I want to be DJ Zenas. I'm
right,
me. Like
Right.
it's important to like just figure out what works for you. Because even to the point that we were talking about earlier, if somebody gave you the entire blueprint on how to be successful in anything, let's say DJing, let's say if DJ Khaled was like, yo, this is everything that I did and gave me like a whole scroll of like just like rules of like everything to do, you
Another one.
would be giving me advice on how to
How
be
to
him. And I'm just like,
Right,
bro,
be DJ Khaled for the
right,
facts.
I don't want to be you. Like, and that's no offense. Like, like I think you've accomplished great things,
right,
but at the end of the day, like I think everyone's journey is unique to themselves, and everyone
right,
needs to figure out like what works for me isn't gonna work for Diamond, isn't gonna work for
right,
Ramon. Like
right.
we all can give each other advice and like lend each other helping hands, but at the end of the day, we have to figure it out for ourselves too.
Yeah,
That's
I
all.
agree, and that's what I was gonna add. What I was gonna add because I think human beings, our competitive advantage is we're unique. There's no
Hmm.
one else. There's not another diamond out there. It's not another Ramon. Zena. So
Hmm.
whatever ideas and thought that we have is unique to ourselves. So at the end of the day, you're just gonna be doing yourself a disservice trying to compare yourself to someone else who's doing better or even doing worse than you because you can never be that person no matter how hard you
Hmm.
try because you're unique in that way. Your thought process are different. If we read a book right now, if we read one page right now, and if it give an essay, we all should write an essay on that page. It's all going to be
Yeah.
different. It's not going to be the
Guaranteed.
same.
Yep.
No matter
100%.
how we read, it's not going to be the same. So I just showed you that the way we think, the way we do things, if we listen to the same thing, we're going to interpret that different. So our competitive advantage is we're unique, and that's a good thing, right? Because there's
That's a fact.
no one else like you out there.
Hmm.
So whatever it is you want to do, just I think the main competition should be with ourselves, not with anyone else. We should be inspired by what other people are doing and learn from them, but it's not to like compete, because at the end of the day, we can't be someone else and they can't be us.
That's a
Hmm. Yeah.
fact.
And
That's a fact, bro.
I think a big piece of like figuring out what works for you is just trial and error. Like I think we take a lot of like what our idols do and what they say and like how they go about things, and we apply that to ourselves. And whatever works, great. Whatever
Right,
doesn't work, scrap that.
right,
A lot of it is just trial and error. You know, I'm sure like, Kobe talked about it all the time. Like his game was like pretty much like studied from Michael Jordan. He
right,
studied the great. He figured out a way to make it work for
Right.
himself. You know, he still figured out, like, you know, he took them 10,000 plus shots, and like, you know, like at the end of the day, like you can mold yourself around like the vision of like who you would like to be, like our idols. Like I think we all do that, you know, but at the same
Right.
time, narrow down to like fit specifically to you though. Like all right, cool. Like I love that this person does this, so I'm gonna apply that to myself. Oh, I figured out, no, that doesn't work for me. You know,
Right.
like and, I think that's a big piece of just figuring it out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a fact, man. Well, I hop in on the question. I think what would my future self in 10 years wish I was doing right now? It's kind of similar to what y'all saying, bro. I think we got kind of all got on the same page recently of just really just like living in that right now. You know what I'm saying? Like being the person that we want to be now and that we would want ourselves to be later. You know what I mean? So I think a big piece of that for me is just like investing, make sure I'm putting stuff to the side and
Mhm,
investing because,
mhm,
you know, later on that's gonna be important for that, you know what I mean?
Right.
That older version of me that is not going to be working corporate 100%.
Right.
You know, not like, you know what I'm saying, possibly that's definitely not going to
Oh
be.
yeah.
yeah,
He's
Right.
going to want to, you know, just sometimes you just want some money to side to just make some plays.
yeah,
Sometimes you can have the opportunity in front of you and you might not just have the capital to do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So just I think a big piece for me would be like making sure I'm investing, putting some stuff to the side, investing in different areas of life too. Of course, you know, money, but like in health. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I've been eating better, man. You know what I mean? This whole month I didn't eat out. You know, one time. You know what I'm saying? One
That's still
time.
great. That's good.
One time. But
That's
yeah, that was one of
great.
my goals for the month. That's a hard thing to do,
yeah,
right? You know what I'm saying? So invest in health. You know what I mean? I'm, you know, investing health, self, and wealth. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, and then just like just trying shit. I think, you know what I mean, like taking the risk while you're still younger, you know what I mean, while you still don't have certain things like locking you down to something. The more, you know what I mean, the more things that you build, the more things kind of lock you down into certain things, whether that's family or, you know what I mean, or mortgages and certain things. So just, you know, taking those risks now is what I definitely would, you know,
Right.
be shouting out myself for. It's like put stuff to the side, and then once you have it, still be moving around, bro. You know what I mean?
Right.
The big thing with me is I work from home. I want to travel a lot. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I'm traveling right now is going to look a little bit different than traveling in 10
Right.
years.
yep,
You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, that's some things that I, you know,
Right.
definitely will be telling myself right now. You feel me? And I feel like I'm
You
already
uh
doing that. Like we said, it's like those are
right. We
things
are already doing it.
we're already doing. So
hmm
yeah.
What do you guys thoughts on this, right? Because that means sometimes you see people they'll be talking about, oh, back in high school I used to do this, I used to do that. Now I don't even do that no more. They are just still focused on their past glory. I'm like, bro, you were still young. Why are you so talking about things that like 10, 15 years ago? You're so stuck in the past. What can you be doing now? What do you
hmm
what to improve? Like what are your thoughts on like people who are just so focused on their past successes and
hmm
failures or whatever, but they're not doing anything currently to alter or change their current situation.
hmm
You want to go, G?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I think about this often, like, because I actually know a lot of people like that. I honestly like. I think it's important to like reflect on the past. You know, like because like we learn a lot
Right,
from the past, right? You know, like past mistakes, past successes, and like we take all that. But like, it's one thing to reflect on, and it's another thing to dwell
right,
on. And I think a lot of people dwell on the past and just like I even hate the term glory days. You know, because like the thing I hate about that is like when you think about the glory days, you think that your best years are behind
exactly,
you, and I'm like, bro, like
right,
there's still so much life in front of us. Like you know, like
right,
so if your best days are behind you, like literally, what's the purpose then? Like what's
right,
the point? Your best days are behind you. Like you know, like I honestly like for people who are trapped in the past or just like you know like always just caught up in like you know like whatever was and honestly too like on the other hand of that like people who are so focused on the future that it's
right,
just like I think something that we've come around a lot to recently and I can definitely attest to that for myself is just learning how to be present you know like and really just enjoying the time now but like to to your point, Dominant, is doing the work now though too. Like, you
Right.
know, putting in the effort, you know, like into whatever it is that you want to do. Um, and honestly, I think a lot of the people who are stuck dwelling on the past, they might be a little lost. Like, you know,
Right.
like everyone, no one has it all figured out. We already talked about that earlier, you know, but like also it's okay to be like lost and like, you know, just like not necessarily like knowing where you want to go, but like I think you have to take it step by step, day by day, to get yourself out of that mindset of like, all right, well, like I recognize that I'm lost, like, you know, like
Right.
I get to where like I want to go,
Right.
but you have to take those steps for yourself though too, like, you know, like you have to, you know, go to therapy, you
Right.
have to go to the gym, work out, you know, like you have to invest. There's so many different things that it's just like, all right, let me just, you don't have to do it all overnight. You know, like take it
Right.
step 1% better every day. What does that look like in a year? You know, like if
Right.
you got better by 1% every day. What does that look like in a year? You know, like, and it's just
Right.
like, oh, damn, I thought I was in the best shape of my life at 18, and now here I am. You
Right.
know, I got 1% better every day, and now I'm like, shit, 18-year-old. I'm shitting on my 18-year-old self. You know, like, and
Right.
all, you got that confidence now, and it's just like, oh, okay, well, what does this look like in my financial life? If I invest $5 every day at minimum, what does that look like in 5 years? Some days I might invest 20. You
Right.
know, like some days I might 5. You know, like, but I'm gonna put a minimum of $5 into my account every day, you know, kind of thing. What does that look like? You know, we always know that like compounding looks huge, you know,
Right.
like obviously, you know. And so
Excuse me.
I honestly think just like a lot of people with that mindset, with that mentality, you know, they're they've either given up like on like not necessarily like the dream, but like just like they're kind of just like maneuvering through life, you know,
Right.
like maybe that's just because like, you know, like they're comfortable with that. Maybe they feel like their glory days are in the past, and that's cool, you know, like or maybe they're lost, you know, like, or maybe they just don't care. I genuinely don't care, like, and that's cool too, you know, like to it is what it is, you know, like
Right.
like it, I love it, you know, but it's just like I know that it could never be me,
Right.
could never be me, man.
Right. What are your thoughts, Ramon?
I agree pretty much with everything that Z said to that. I heard this thing one time, man. It said like there's usually three types of people, right? People that live like in the past, people that live in the present, and the people that live in the
Yeah,
future. And there's like pros and cons with all of them, right? The people that in the
Right.
past, they're usually really good storytellers. They really can talk good to people. You know what I mean? They can, really connect with people and talk about what was and things that, you know what I mean. So that's the pro of it, right? But then they're always looking behind them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's the con. And for the
Right.
present, it's like the person that's they in the room always. They you know what I mean.
Right.
They always present. But sometimes it's hard to focus on the
yeah,
future. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because like it's hard to be building something when you're too far in the present, right?
yeah,
And then the
Right.
person in the future, they always are thinking forward, which is dope because they're building things, but then they're never in the present.
Right.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there's pros and cons to all of them. You know what I mean? But I think the biggest thing I was taking from what Z was saying is like he truly believes that there's more glory days ahead
Right.
of him,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's like some people just might not believe that for
Yeah.
real. I honestly
That's
believe
true.
there's never a day in my life that I thought like my best years was behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I just
Right.
don't think I operate like that. I think that I still got so much more to do. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
hold on though. Isn't it because we're younger? So maybe if we were older, maybe that might change, or is
Nah,
it
I don't
because?
know. We know people our age that don't think that
yeah,
though. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So I think that's the
Right.
difference. Is like
Right.
like some people like, bro, after 30, that's probably you capped off. You capped off, boy. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So all downhill from there,
yeah,
my man's. You know what I'm saying? And that like, but I'm just saying, there's never like a year where I was just like, I reflected back on, and I was like, there were some highs in this year, and there's some highs in that year, but I never thought like
Mm,
my best years was
yeah.
behind me, and maybe it's a little delusional
right.
because I don't think I'm gonna ever feel like that. Somebody
Right.
asked me one time, like, when do you think you're gonna hit your peak? And I was like, I think at 70, I'm gonna be like, yo, next year, I'm gonna be going crazy. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? At 71, boy, I'm about to be going nuts. You know what I mean? I just closed on this compound in West Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? No, so
Right,
I think it's just a mindset of like where you think on
right,
things. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So I think that's a big thing for me. Is what I would tell those people is there's this is like Z was saying a life ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Right,
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing
right,
for me is just really like setting up now to be able to still have more glory days in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I'm
Yep.
si-
No, that
I'm still writing my book in real time
right,
right now.
Mm-hmm.
You see what
right.
I'm saying?
No,
And just the book of life, really. Like I want them to be like, yo, when he was doing this, this was what's happening, and
right.
still write my book, bro. So I still think I got things in the future to look forward to.
No, I agree. I think that's a great way you put it, bro. Because I was thinking on a day, if you're like 70 or 80, what can you be looking forward to for right now? So I'm trying to think
Mhm.
about it, right? Yeah, it might not be something physically, right? Because you might be limited, but it could be also be something mentally, right? You can grow or do something or whatever knowledge that you gain for like 80 years, you can do something to be able to like inspire other people, the younger kids. So I definitely agree
Imagine
with that.
having like a trust fund for your grandson at that
Right,
point. Like, and
right.
that's something to look forward to. Like, yo, I made sure that,
My entire
like my grandson, he gets to intern at my
right,
company instead of just going somewhere else. It's going to be a paid internship at my company. Or you see what I'm saying? Like,
right,
there's other things
right,
when you're building. It might not be looking forward to going to Mardi Gras.
right,
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
right,
But it's going to be a different, like looking forward to something else. You feel me?
right. No, it's
Yeah,
true
shout out to
because I think that
Dustin. It's about, you see what Dustin said. It's about
yeah.
legacy at that point. You
Right.
feel
I
me?
agree. I agree.
I
Because if you only just focusing on being
talk about it all the time. I think that's what life is about, really, just in
right,
general, right?
right,
Break down what the essence of life is. I believe it's legacy.
right,
Like what do you want to leave behind in your life? Like, what is your
right.
overall? I think that's what it all boils down to.
Yeah, that's true. Because you can be young and feel like your best years are done, right? You can be
Yeah.
like a certain age and believe that I can do more. Because I see that all the time. People are worried about, oh, wait till you get like 36 or 37. You're not going to be in a great shape. I'm like, oh, bro, I'm going to be still going to be doing all those things,
Yeah.
like 30. Because they believe to them is like, that's so old. Their best days are behind them. They can no
Yeah.
longer get in a better shape. And
Yeah.
for me, my mindset is like, bro, I can still, I'm trying to be in a great shape when I'm 60 or 70.
You
Yeah.
see what I'm
I
saying?
still want to have a six pack. So it's like my mindset is a little different because I believe, man, I can do more. Yeah, it might be a little bit harder. Like a 60-year-old man and a 30-year-old guy who's trying to get in shape, the 30-year-old guy's going to win all the time. But the 60-year-old guy has to figure out something that works for
Mm-hmm.
him. It might not be at the 30-year-old guy level, but he can still be better. And having that mindset of like just that growth mindset, believing that you can always do more, man, I think that really is kind of like what sets you apart,
Yeah.
bro.
Absolutely. Like I think about people. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. Like, think about people who like peaked in high school. Like, like we talk about peaking. Like, isn't that just so unfortunate to think that your best years were in high school? Like, when you hadn't even reached like really adulthood yet.
Right,
So that's such a crazy concept to me. I'm like, like granted, like you might have hit your peak physical shape or
right,
something
right,
like there's so many other ways, to your point, Diamond, to improve upon in life.
right,
And like just like it's just I don't want to necessarily say tragic, but it's just crazy to like think that
right,
way. That like at 18 you thought you were at your peak.
right,
Like granted you might have been at your peak physically or whatever
right.
you thought it might have
Yeah,
been. There's still so many ways to like improve and like like just looking forward to what like life has to bring and has to offer. Um, and if you don't, like, I don't know, like, like maybe you are just maneuvering, like I know, like I said earlier, maybe some people just don't care, and that's fine,
yeah,
but like that's crazy to me that like, to think that you peaked, like before you were even 21 years old, like, like kind of thing, like, bro, like to Peace point, bro, I'm gonna still be turning up at 70 years old. I'm gonna still be living my best life at 70 years old. I don't care what nobody say.
Come
I
on,
may
man.
I may be limited to what I can do. I may not be hitting, like 7 tequila shots. Like your boy might be sipping a cognac or something like that. At that point, I'm all right. I'm gonna just go ahead. This one glass is gonna last me all night, kind of thing.
You
But
know what I mean?
I'm gonna still be living my best life.
You gonna be telling your grandkids how you used to dug it. Boy, I used
But
to. You
back
just,
in the boy, boy, your
boy,
granddaddy strong knees, baby. I was hitting that boy.
When I was your age, boy.
Boy, my day, man. Back in my day,
He
like
said that. He said, "No, you wouldn't." Not at 70. Romeo said, "Not at
I'm
70."
telling you, I'm gonna be turned. Look, man, I'm gonna be turned up at 70. I don't care what nobody say. Look, I'm a fast forward. What? That's gonna be 2060. In 2060, I'm gonna be 70 years old, and Lord, willing, I'm still alive at that time. I want y'all to hold me accountable. Like, Z, you still living your best life? I'm gonna be like,
It's
God
up.
damn right.
We
It's up in
will.
2060. It's
It's
up.
up. It's up.
It's up in 2060.
Let me go. I'm gonna go to the
Let's see what my
comment.
man Dustin said. Yeah, let's see what my man Dustin said real quick. You want to read that down?
Oh, who's Dustin's the front row dad?
Yeah.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right. He like, I think the older we get, the more outward we think. I'm turning 40 this year, and I'm still putting numbers on the board, but have become more aware about my legacy and what the quality of the rest of my life looks like.
That's
I mean,
fire.
yeah, it's true, bro.
Yeah.
That's fire, man. That's
And
fire.
I think that's the beauty of life, right? Because we realize, okay, if I can't do these things physically, now I got to work on my mental, right? And you
Mhm.
improve. But like you said, like going back to the question, sometimes I think people be like, damn, my best years are behind me. Now they're like, I can't really do anything. But yeah, maybe you're talking about physical performance, but there are other
Yeah,
things that you can improve on and be better, so you can still have the rest of your life to enjoy
Yeah.
and something to look forward to.
Yep.
that's a fact. That's a fact. Life is about legacy, man, for sure.
And
I
then
think
I'm.
I think to be honest, life is just longer. Like life is short. We'll say that,
right,
right?
Yeah.
But for a lot of times, life is longer than we think it
Yeah.
is. Like, you know what
facts,
I'm saying? So like if what they say, the average person maybe 70, 75, maybe.
right.
So
Yeah.
if you really thought about it, like there's no way you
Right,
should be thinking you peaked before that you technically halfway got to the, anything can happen. Tragic things
right,
happen to people all the time. But if you do live 75, there's no way in your mind you should think you should peak before the first 50% even. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
it shouldn't even make sense. Like, you know what I mean? You should just be
Yes,
warming up. So
Yep.
it's true.
yeah.
Then, that's true. Then my other follow-up question would be then, what is the best age as a man, right, to start having to start trying to like figure it out a little bit, right? Because you can be, yes, you shouldn't worry, shouldn't stress about things, but at the same time, you want to be at a certain age, at least have a foundation or something, right? You don't just want to be at 35. And so what do you guys think would be like the good age to start figuring out your life out and what you want to do, or
I feel like it's that's a tough question, man. Because I be feeling like people. I feel like we're just always
right,
young. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're younger than we think always. But to be honest, I think maybe 28. You
right,
should have like maybe a feel of just even what you like.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Even what you like. I think it don't got to be figured out as far as like this is my
right,
plan for success. But it's like,
right,
bro, just like figuring out like through those years. You know what I mean? You don't got to be super focused and locked in through your 20s, but like just start trying stuff enough to figure you out. Like I
right,
said, figure you out. And at 28, you might, maybe start playing with ideas on how to structure your life to look like
right,
the things that you like. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
that's what.
Hmm. Yeah. I agree with that. I would say like your late 20s
right,
is where you, because I think we talk about it all the time. Is like earlier like in our early 20s, like even before then and stuff like that, even mid 20s, we're all like trying stuff and just figuring out what works for us, right? Like we're adding things, like we're trying to add as much as we can to our lives, right? To like figure it out for ourselves. I think by our mid 20s and when you should start subtracting things.
right,
Like it's like I added all these things to my life, and like
Right.
and now I figured out what doesn't work for me. So let me start removing these things, like these aspects of my life that don't work for me. Like I feel like by your 20, like your late 20s is when you should start like figuring that out for yourself. It's like, all right, well, let me start like let me subtract this because I know it doesn't work for me. Like
right.
start subtracting these like damn chocolates because I know it ain't well because it's just gonna be killing these goddamn things. Like you should start figuring out things by your late 20s. Like
Right,
and I feel like your early to mid 30s is when you should be optimizing, which is I think exactly what we're doing. Like we already subtracted a lot of things, and now like we're optimizing like what our life looks like. Like we know exactly like who we are, what we bring to the table, and now we're just optimizing what all those systems look like. What how we like feel like our best lives are gonna look like. Like at 40 years old, like I know that like my life is going to be grand. I know that all of our lives are going to be grand at 40, you know, like, and even beyond, you know, but, I think that all starts with optimizing right now and having done that piece of subtracting already. You know, I think we
Right,
already figured it out.
right. No, I agree. I would say by, mid-20s, you can start like at least try to like figure out what you're trying to do,
Yeah.
right? At least get your own spot. You can just be living off your parents or have a job. Try to like you try to like figure it out a little bit more. But at the same time, if you don't have it figured out, it's all right. But I would say for me, man, for men overall, it's just good to have your head on your shoulder, a
Yep.
little bit younger. I said 25. That's a good age to start figuring out what you want to
What
do, and just
the 20s, you are adding the experience. By the time you're 30, you should have a direction and be targeted. Absolutely.
yeah.
That's money.
And a
That's
side
money.
note, I wanted to just chime back in 2024, the average life expectancy for men is 81.7 years old. For women, is 81.
That's insane. That's insane, brother. That,
You
that's
still gonna
insane.
be
That's
you still gonna be doing your tequila shots?
for sure.
Still
Come
gonna be
on,
taking
for sure.
now, like I said, I might not be taking 7 of them. I might be taking that one, and it might be sipping
And
that
sipping
thing,
that
you
thing.
know. But
You know what I'm saying?
still
And
be taking it.
glad to see your finest wine this evening. You know what I'm saying?
At that point though, I'm drinking nothing but the finest though. Like I ain't, there ain't no mid grade.
Yeah.
I'm drinking just finest tequila that there
No
is.
more Jose Cuervo.
No more. That's out of there. That's out of there. That's the first thing out of there. Things already out of my
For
book.
real. I'm probably not even messing with that now. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think nowadays. I don't even think I'm drinking anything below like 1800. That's like the
Yeah.
lowest I'll go.
Yeah. I think I agree.
Yeah, but
That's funny.
so yeah, I feel like sometimes we just beat ourselves up, right? We just like so hard on ourselves, we don't. I mean, it's good to be hard on yourself. Don't get me wrong. It's good to be your own critic to a certain level. However, I think in life sometimes you just got to take a step back and reflect on your accomplishments and things that you're doing good, and celebrate the little wins too.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if you're just so focused on, oh man, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, I can be doing more, you miss the important part of life sometimes. But I feel like I'm in the middle right now, right? Because some days I'm hard on myself. Like, bro, you can be doing more, man. Like, there's people your age right now killing it. Like, what
Yeah.
are you doing? Wake up. And for me, I use that as a feel to like wake up in the morning and get stuff done. But at the same time, like,
Yeah.
let me just, I'm doing good, but I can do better, right? So
Yeah.
some days I'm like, I'm hard on myself, and some days I'm like, you know what, bro, you doing
Yeah.
good, bro. Just keep
Yeah.
Yeah.
like
Now,
everything. Still
you're
keep doing
doing
what
great.
you're doing.
You're
Yeah.
doing great.
Yeah.
You're not
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. It's funny that you said that. I heard this thing that says like sometimes it's easy to forget our own light because we see our darkness every
Mm-hmm.
day.
Right.
You know what I mean? We see what
Right.
we're not every day. Like we see the things that we're going through every day. So sometimes it's hard for us to remember our own light you know what I mean?
Right.
Because we see our darkness every day. So I think it is. You kind of maybe even if it's just once a week, probably just have to remind yourself, like, bro, you killing this shit, bro. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You are somebody that I would want to be.
Yeah.
Like you know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like
Right.
to yourself,
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta just look in
Right.
the mirror and be like,
Right.
nobody's really living the same exact life you are,
Right.
bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Keep doing that
That's
shit,
true.
man. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yes.
Stay on your shit.
Sometimes we forget that, bro. Sometimes life will get hard, and things that we're working on, it doesn't is not materializing right now. Like, damn, man, I wish. Like we said, talked about earlier. I want to live in the future, right? I want to be in that mansion right away.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'm like, damn, man, what am I doing? But at the end of the day, I just gotta like step back and just enjoy the process and
Yeah.
breathe and just be happy of what I've done so far instead of being too
Yeah.
hard on
And
myself.
I got just a follow-up question to both y'all because when you were saying that, it's like we have these goals to get things, right? And we've got some of the stuff that we wanted to get.
Yeah.
Does it ever really feel like you thought it was gonna feel when you get it though?
No. I,
I mean, yes.
but
After a while, the feeling goes a little bit, but it feels good. It feels
I,
For a little
right
bit, right?
for
I
Like a
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
yeah.
Yeah, it's
But
not right. It's
the
not permanent, right?
I was
Yeah,
just saying that to say, like it usually doesn't, right?
Yeah.
right,
Not at least not a sustainable period of time because you keep wanting to level up.
right,
Yeah.
So at the same time, we gotta just remember like the process is what we gotta be enjoying too. And that's why I just be telling people, like, find stuff that you like, because if you enjoy the process, then while you're chasing those goals, you still having fun.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be hitting those, you could be chasing those goals, having fun on the way up to them.
Yeah.
Like, we building certain things, we building out, but we're building things that I'm having fun messing with. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
also be honest, bro. Like sometimes I don't have fun doing it, right? But I just do it. Like some days I ain't gonna lie, I don't have fun in the gym. I just
Yeah.
do it because I'm there. It's not like I don't. I'd rather be home doing something, else. But like I'm here. It's not like So sometimes it's just like it's not about like you said, man. It's not always about the fun. Sometimes it's about
Yeah.
doing it,
Yeah.
right? Because if you do it, you're gonna get to that level you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I definitely agree.
But yeah, I mean, to that point, like I think a lot of times when we accomplish those goals or check off those boxes, like there is that honeymoon phase, right? Like of anything, right? Where it's just like, oh man, like I just got the G wagon, Diamond in his G wagon. Where you like, hey, I got the G wagon, baby, I'm
I got the
rolling,
G.
baby.
In that boy,
for
be.
for about 7, gonna sleep in that. For about Diamond's ass gonna be sleeping in that G
Come
wagon.
on,
He gonna be like, baby,
man.
G wagon, baby. Can't tell me shit, But
Come
Right.
on.
I think after that honeymoon phase, phases out.
Right.
I think like we all get jaded, with
Right.
everything to a point, where it's just like, all right, well, like, what's the next thing, like what,
Right.
like, um, and I think that's just natural for people like us who are just like naturally like wanting to grow and just like wanting to continue to elevate, um, Tyler said, most of the time for me, it isn't the result that feels great, but the person you have become during the
Right.
journey. And to your point, 2P, I think it's just enjoying the
Right.
process, man. It's just
Mm-hmm.
enjoying, like, as I was like working, as Diamond was working up to get to that G wagon, he was still having
Right.
fun. He's still enjoying
Thanks.
his GLE right now. He's
Right.
still
You still in
as
that Versace store in Europe, bro. You still in that Versace store in Europe, bro. You know,
He's still in
you
there.
know
It's
what I
true
mean?
though.
we
Right. Still having fun along
It's
the
true
way.
though. I was there.
you
You
know,
know what I'm saying?
and that's why I think, like, regardless whether it's like next year, whether it's like
Right.
45, 56, whether it's 70, we still gonna be living our best
Right.
lives, because it's just like, I think like the natural the like one thing I've come to realize, especially about myself, I don't know if y'all can attest to it, but like one thing I've always come to realize is I'm a big kid at heart. Like, like I'm a grown ass man, but I'm a big kid at heart.
Right.
And I think it's like, it's that child in me, like that, like makes, like keeps that curiosity within me in my life, like
Right.
that, like just curious nature of just like wanting to just, like always being starry eyed and dreaming big. Like, I think that's just always like, that's just a kid in me,
Right.
like, and I think that's a piece of me that I do truly appreciate, like
Yeah,
I'm not just old ass bitter man, like, like I'm just, I got that childlike instinct in me that keeps me young, kind of thing.
Right.
And I think it's have that, too, like just have that natural curiosity and just like that ultimate like thrill for life, right? Like I think that's like, like you need that. Like otherwise, like what are we really doing here? Like, if we just like, just kind of count down the days, just like you just count down the days till you just like croak
Right.
over and just like what are we
Right.
doing? So
Right. No, I agree. And then one thing that really makes me happy, bro, is just overall progress, right? Whenever I'm
the
like
overall.
seeing progression, whatever I'm doing, I'm like, damn, you look at your bank account, like, oh, shoot, you
Yeah,
see like all the things. And then also another thing, bro, you see like the people around you, bro, being better. It's like, it makes you feel good, right? Because like,
yeah,
man,
yeah,
people around me are doing good. I feel good. That's a reflection of you, your circle, your friends, your family.
yeah,
yeah.
Just seeing like you push it, like it just help. It just give you confidence. Now you're like, oh, yeah, I can do more.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're like, if I did that, what if I learn more skills? What if I do more things? What if I become a better person? Now I'm able to attract
yeah,
more. And then by just having that thought, now you want to become a better person. It's like
That's
kind of like
that
the
part.
growth stage. You want to like push yourself to get there,
yeah,
It's kind of when you start working out, bro, when you start seeing the gains, that's when
Yeah.
people get addicted to fitness.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, my muscle looks
Yeah.
good. Now you want to go harder.
A couple compliments. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know
Right.
what I mean? That changes some things, right?
you've been
Oh,
you've
you
been
see, I,
them triceps looking a little defined, like yeah.
Right.
I'm
You
dying to be
you
like,
get home.
you see those? You see
Yeah,
me?
but just like the progress, and now you want to improve.
Yeah.
That's when I really got into it. Because when I came to CSU, bro, like when I went back to Philly summer break, people like, you play football, and I was like, what? And I was like, bro, that was my motivation. When I came back at CSU, bro, I was going harder. Just the fact that people in high school thought like I a little bigger than when I was in high school. And that
Oh
was my
yeah, yeah,
motivation.
yeah,
I was like, oh yeah, my homeboy thing, I'm looking big now.
yeah,
Watch me. I'm gonna go a little way
yeah,
bigger. So it's just
yeah,
like that progress, seeing people around you just motivate you to go harder
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
yeah. That's fire, man.
I think that it's good to have like a natural like competition, right? Like, like, but mostly with yourself.
Right.
Like your point earlier, DG, like what you were saying, just as far as like, I also think like because we live in the era of social media, like I think comparison it can be the thief of like
A
all
fact.
things that are of just the appreciation. Like, because we get caught up in this facade of like, oh, comparing ourselves to like
Right.
that person. And it's just like,
Right.
why am I not living like Jeff Bezos? $1 billion, and it's like, bro, like it's just like, that's crazy. Like
Right.
that's a thief of all. Like,
Yeah,
comparison is just a thief of joy, man. So like, I think it is good to be competitive in nature, but I think your biggest competitor should be yourself. Your next biggest competitor should probably be the people in your circle, and that
Right.
I say with healthy competition.
for
I'm not
sure.
Oh
saying
yeah.
like,
Right.
oh, DG got a G wagon, so I got to go. I don't give a damn about none of that shit, But like,
Right.
I love to see my boy shining, and it's just
Right.
like he got the G wagon. I'm like, all right, let me step my game up a little bit. Like,
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
me go. I'm gonna
Exactly.
go get a.
Now you want a team that makes you want to step your shit up for sure.
Yeah.
You know
Because
what I
you
mean?
inspire me, Z. You moving to New York and quit your job. Because nowadays on my mind, I'm like, all right, I need to get to that
Yeah,
level that I can just quit my
yeah.
job and just focus on the business full
That's a
time.
Yep.
Ramond
fact.
posting on Instagram, doing anything. I'm like, I need to, step it up too. I don't know if you noticed that. I've been a little bit posting on TikTok a little
I
bit.
see.
You guys inspire
Yeah,
me.
I seen it, Kevin.
I see that.
Come on, man. Hey, I seen it.
I see
You
that
know?
clocking.
Come
It's
on, man.
TikTok clock.
You know what I'm saying? No, I'm being for real because I didn't. That's kind of like the competition, right? Because we
Yeah,
all talk about these things, and I'm seeing you doing it. I'm like, if he can do it too, like I can make
Yep.
you
time.
can make
I'm not that
some time.
busy. I can make some time and do it, right? So for me, it's all about that healthy competition in the sense that
Yep.
it's not like you're not trying to be better than
Mhm.
him.
Yeah,
But if he's doing it, you are inspired me to like do something too,
Yep.
right?
yeah,
Like create something or like whatever ideas that I have instead of just sitting on it. Why not just put it out there when my boy's doing that too? So for
yeah,
me, that's kind of like that. That's how competition works, right? But
Yep.
I think other people sometimes they become envious, right? Oh my God, he's
yeah,
blowing up. I want to be the one. Why not me?
yeah, yeah,
Why not
yeah, yeah,
me the one
Yeah.
blowing up? Why not me the
yeah,
face of the
Yeah.
brand? And that's when it become unhealthy.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like you're not happy for his success no
yeah,
more. You wish that
yeah.
was you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
You
want,
Yeah.
know.
you wish it was you. That's a whole different thing. That's a
That
whole
is
different thing,
completely
bro.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I feel like you see that a lot. A lot of the time, bro, you lose friends. People become envious of your success and all that
Mhm.
because now they want to be you.
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, man. Yeah, it's that's a tough trait, man. I don't know. What do you think it is with envy? Like with envy, man. I mean, I don't
Well,
know. Do you think that's like where do you think that comes from? Where do you think it stems from? Like, cause
I was
I
having
don't know.
I was having a conversation with Mark. I think, bro, like just not being happy with your life, bro. Because at the end of the day, like low self confidence, right? Because
Yeah.
yes, I don't think you shouldn't envy anyone, right? You should be inspired by them.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
for
yeah,
me, it's like
yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
they
Every
can
time.
do it, they are not that much better than you. You can acquire the same skill set and do something similar.
Hmm.
So why envy them? But like, I hate that he's doing that.
Yeah, yeah,
You can be
yeah,
inspired and also reach out and learn from
Yeah.
them, right? So I just think it's like low
yeah,
confidence.
yeah,
If you don't believe that you can do those things, that's when you envy people. But if you believe that you can get in a great shape, you can like acquire and make money, you're not gonna envy someone who's in a great better shape than you or have money than you because like, all right, it's gonna be my time is gonna come. I'm gonna be able to get there because you
Yeah.
believe that you can do it. But if you don't believe that, then that's when you start to like, yeah, dad. All right, that's when you start to like envy people, bro. So I
Yeah.
think it's just all about when you don't believe in yourself. That's when you start to like envy people.
Yeah. I think piggybacking off of that, like I was gonna say something similar. I really think it's just like, we talked about earlier, just like with your self identity and just really just being comfortable with who you are
yeah,
and knowing what you and like and being confident in that and just leaning into that. I think a lot of people. I mean, if we're gonna be honest, I think a lot of people are unhappy. Like and that's why I think it shows up. like things like jealousy and envy show up in people's lives, like because and that natural like haterism within people, like it's just like, well, like I think that's more so like just that's why I don't take things like honestly, like I try not to take things personally because I know it's just a reflection of themselves at the end of the day. People are displaying behavior that like just reflects how they feel inside,
Right.
like kind of thing. That's just honestly what it boils down to most days. And someone who's jealous or envious, they just feel like something's missing from their lives, like kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong. Like I think I think we have so much like in our lives, and I know that like we're still working towards something, but I wouldn't necessarily say there's anything missing in my life.
Right.
Like I know that I know there's room for more.
Right.
Like I can add, but like I don't know if there's necessarily anything that's just like missing from my life, like from my life that's gonna make my life complete.
Right.
Even if you gave me $10 million, I'm not gonna feel like my life is complete.
Right.
That's gonna add, like that's gonna add to my life. But
that's a good way to look at it.
All be all, kind of thing. And so, yeah, I really just think at the end of the day, it's just a reflection of how they feel inside. And I feel like, to a degree, some people just feel unhappy or feel empty for whatever reason,
Right.
Yeah, that's heavy, fellas. That's big, man. And I think even to add to it, man, is sometimes your circle, man, might make you feel a certain way. Like if you don't genuinely trust the people around you, like trust that they have good intentions around you, it kind of messes with your own, you know what I mean? Like just, you know what I mean? It messes with like not having genuine people, and not everybody's blessed just to have those genuine people around me. So that's one thing I always, you know what I'm saying? I recognize actively that I just am blessed to have like super dope, genuine, like people genuinely want to see me win. I feel like, right? You know what I'm saying? Around me, you know what I mean? And I feel like when I say I feel like they've shown me, you know what I mean? That they really want me to win. So I think that, that's a big thing for some people, that just not having that core group that genuinely is like, bro, I want you to kill it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, for you, not for me either, for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man.
Because at the end of the day, if one person wins, bro, I feel like we all win. Like Z become the best DJ in New York right now. Whenever I go to New York, I'm hanging out with the best
DJ in New
How is that?
York.
How is that not a win for me? Like, how is that like something, you become
people don't
famous
even
with
understand
Ramond
that part. Yeah.
The network, like, how is that
Yeah.
bad? Why do I want to see like him fail? Because I don't want him being better than me. Like, why?
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be better than you at something. Like that's just the truth.
Yeah.
Like that's everybody. Every single person can do something better than you. You know what I mean? Somebody could probably, flip a coin way better than you. Know what I'm saying? Like clean though. I'm talking about clean, bro.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like
Damn, man. He got the 360 spin,
bro. It's going. Flick it 66 times exactly, and then drop back down in the hand. It's heads every time. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? Like if somebody can do something that you can't, for sure.
Right, and sometimes I think it's ego, right? Because at the end of the day, right, sometimes you might realize that someone's better than you at that specific thing. However, by them being better than you, maybe they might be the face of the brand. And now you're like, damn, I want to be the face of the brand. Even though you know that he is a better leader than you, but you like, I want to be the face. When you know that he will do a better job. It's sometimes just about ego sometimes. And then, now you create that hate. So I don't know, bro. It's just.
I see what you mean.
It's kind of hard because sometimes bro. Sometimes like even when I'm playing soccer, bro. Like for me, it's like I'm okay when I know someone's like better than me, skilled than me. I'm like, all right, he's better than me at certain things, so it's okay. I can take advice from him. But sometimes I think it's hard for us to like realize that okay, he's a little bit better than me. He's a little bit,
you gotta admit that too. It's hard to some people sometimes admit that, like you know what I'm saying, like.
So they should be in that position because in high school, I know this guy when he was a starter. I know he was bigger, stronger than me. I knew at that time he was better than me. So whenever the coach pulled him in to start, I wouldn't even trip. After school, I'll reach out to him like sometimes we'll train together so I can learn from him to become better. And when he graduated, guess what? I was starting.
Yeah.
That's thanks.
So it's just like some people are not willing to like take that back seat.
Yeah.
So like someone else is drive for now, so they can like learn and be the mentee. They just want to be the one mentoring. But
the big thing now, right, is Patrick Mahomes. He didn't come in the league as a starter, right? He didn't come in the league as a starter, and now they're arguing if he's gonna be better than Tom Brady and be the GOAT quarterback. You see what I'm
Right,
saying? Like you
right,
got to sometimes just wait your turn,
right,
brother. Like you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You
right,
know you don't have your time to shine, bro. You know what I mean?
And we all have egos, right? You know, like to your point, DG, like we all have egos, and I think it takes like that level of maturity to realize, like, all right, I need to put my ego aside and like
right,
really take time to like learn from this person, or
right.
like like just take notes at the end of the day. Like you may not even have to learn from them directly. And sometimes that's not always the easiest thing to do. And oftentimes we think we're perfect and we think we
Right,
everything know it all. Like, and it's just like you know, like I said, I think it takes that level of maturity to just understand. Like, all right, well, like maybe they can teach me something. So like,
right.
let me stop being so damn stubborn and hard headed, and let me just listen, kind of thing. So
Right. It's like me going to a party right now. It's like, oh, Diamond, you want to DJ? Z is right there. It's gonna be. And I'm like, oh, I want to DJ. No, I know Z is a better DJ than me. It's fact,
Facts. Is
I
this
don't
a
go out
fact?
there. He's better than me. But
All
some
right.
people be like, all right, now they want to be the spot. They want to be on the spot. Ooh, they want to be on the spot.
You want to be on the rebound? Yeah,
They
all
be on the
right.
spot network. They want to be on the spot network. So
Yes.
now, now they want to take that light. They want to be the one to do the job, even though knowing that
Yeah.
there's someone else who's going to do the job better than you. But
mhm.
Mhm.
sometimes just like take step back, a seat back, and learn from them.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
And it's
but it's hard
easier
to
to
do.
it's easier to tear down than it is to build, right?
Fact, bro.
I
It's hard.
always.
think that's the facts, right? It's easier to tear something down than it is to build. So,
Right.
you know.
Be,
Was there
be,
anything,
be,
any other big things y'all got for this conversation? I think this was a good one, man.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? I always feel refreshed when we be having these, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's like the perfect way to. I'm glad we do these on
right.
Mondays. It's like
Right.
perfect way to kind of set the tone for the week. You know what I mean?
I,
Yeah,
I, I'll say this: my 10-year from now self will be thanking us for having these conversations
that,
right now. I can say
that's
that.
100%,
I can say that.
100%, bro.
No,
100%,
absolutely, man. I think
bro.
we grow and learn from it every day. Because every day for me is like something new. And like
Hmm.
I feel like I've been looking forward to this. Right, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
I've been looking
Yeah,
forward to this all week. I was like, man,
yeah.
I got something I look forward to on
That's
Monday. Yeah.
a fact, man. And we ain't missed 1 week since we started, bro. I think we started this maybe what was it September? Maybe it's September, October, maybe
Right.
somewhere around there.
it was
You know what
very
I mean?
September. I think it was the last Monday in September is when we started.
But you see, that what I learned from this platform, bro, is just about consistency. Though, once you're consistent, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to
Hmm.
figure everything out. Just start and just do it every day when you don't want to do it, and you're gonna get there, bro. That's what I'm starting to learn. That like you're seeing it in real time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
We started, but we didn't have everything figured out.
yeah,
After weeks, we started figuring everything out, man. And that's how you get to that goal you want to get to, right? Being consistent every day, doing the work, even though you don't feel like doing it, showing up, even though you don't want to show up, going to the gym, eating healthy, doing those things over time, bro. There's no reason why you're gonna fail when you do that,
None.
yeah.
you know. And
That's a fact, brother.
and shout out to my boy Bradley. And Bradley, I don't owe you nothing. Yeah, I was out here trying to
Shout
have him pay my
out
one
to
payment.
Bradley, man.
Shout out to Bradley. No, but I'm excited, bro. I'm looking forward to the new month, man. February is already here, bro. It's a short month. So, I feel like January is like a 31-day trial period for 2024. So it's kind of
Facts,
31 days,
man.
money back guaranteed. So,
Come on,
now,
man.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
now for it to like
wild
step it up, bro.
now, man. It's crazy. Like 11 more months to go in 2024, man. It's wild.
It's a
So
fact.
Yeah, making me a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm excited at the
Thanks.
same time.
yeah,
It's just like,
Yeah.
man, it's pressure. Like I have to like step it up every month. Like you have to like step it up.
yeah.
Yeah, because if you said you was gonna make $1 million this year, you should be at 100,000 by now. So you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. It's time to get it, y'all. You know what I'm saying.
Hey, March
You know
gonna
what I
be a
mean.
good month. I'm gonna make 1,500K in March to make up
You
for this
see,
year, bro.
you see what I'm saying. So, nah, for sure. Well, all right, fellas,
Yeah,
man. This is a good one, man. Everybody who's still here, one time before we wrap,
I got
follow the page for us. One time, we got a lot of cool things popping up. Um,
Follow the page, guys.
Yeah, I
And
just
so
dropped it in the
I
chat.
got us here too, the live. I got watching this on the other phone too.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Follow that page for everybody who's in here, the Spot Network official, man. We got a lot of cool content coming this year, man. We've been working on some dope things, man. And we plan every couple episodes, man, out. We not sure exactly, but we giving away gifts and stuff like that too, man. So we're gonna really start building this thing out. Diamond got the first book for Jay Rich, man. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And just some cool stuff we want to start doing as a community and building this out.
Yeah.
So appreciate everybody for tapping in with us. I want to definitely say that, man. You know what I mean? Some people be kicking with us for like hours. Yeah, I've been,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And that means a lot, bro, just to sit here and have conversations with us and you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And just tap in with us, leave comments and don't leave comments, just watch sometimes. We appreciate that for real.
If you're trying
Right.
to
Absolutely.
vibrate on the rhythm of growth, man, tap in with us at the Spot Network, man. Like, so yeah, really excited. I always appreciate these conversations, man. To your point, Pete, like I always feel very inspired after these conversations, and I feel ready to accomplish anything and everything for the week. So shout out to y'all boys, man, and shout out to everybody who tapped in, man. We definitely appreciate each and every one of y'all. I feel like every week we get better, and every week we learn something new. So we just gonna continue rolling. And like I said, 10 years from now, we're gonna be thanking ourselves for having these conversations and
Absolutely.
just like DG said, man, doing the work.
Just do the work, man. It's
All
hard. Just do it. All right, y'all.
right, fellas,
Good
y'all be
night.
easy, man.